I'm ready to take you on a trip back to the 1980s into the time machine, the glory days of the video store. So I created this video rental store in my house because I really miss the days of going and renting videotapes in person. I know there's a lot of streaming, downloading that people do, and I'm all for that too. But I just miss the tangible experience of going in, looking at movies, holding them in your hand, looking at the cover art, flipping them over, and discovering new movies that you didn't know existed. God, I love this movie so much, man. You have no idea. It was a teenage comedy, horror, sci-fi movie. It has the right amount of weird 80s, kind of quirkiness and comedy, just the right amount of sci-fi, and the plot is absolutely ridiculous, man, and the weirder the better to me. So one of the cool things about the old video stores is that they'd always have a display case that had things like, video head cleaners, video rewinders, blank tapes. You had trading cards like these Garbage Pail Kids and Ninja Turtles, that kind of thing. They would always sell candy, gum, can't forget the popcorn if you're watching movies. And then if anyone remembers these, they had fake candy cigarettes. Part of the fun of collecting VHS tapes is that you'll find the most obscure, random, hilarious stuff. And I think the perfect example specimen of that is Beezbo.
What was that? He made himself into a human. Yeah, you want to make something of it? No.
Beezbo is essentially, it's a video that parents would rent for kids to teach them manners, but it's an alien that comes from outer space. He crash lands in the forest. Kids come across him and they have to teach him about manners. And it's just full of hilarity. The guy's voice, the laughter, every single thing about it is funny to me.
Pardon me? Yes, but what for me?
But if you're looking for bottom of the barrel entertainment, pure absolute cheese, Beezbo is on the highest recommendations list of all time.
Do you want a fat lip?
No, do you?
Maybe. Think you can give me one?
Okay, here.
Okay, another perfect example of so cheesy and ridiculous it's good is You on Kazoo. This was actually kind of brought back into the limelight of just pop culture because the guy that was in it originally posted on Facebook and he said something about yeah, I was in this at one time, and it's a tutorial teaching you how to use kazoo, but it has such a cult vibe to it. It's really a creepy thing, man.
I like to sing, dance, pretend, and kazoo.
And some of the scenes in here are just ridiculous. They're beyond weird, beyond crazy. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, goody! I think the spirit's coming out to play. Keep pretending.
Okay, so something that's really important to me is Wang. Wang was a little person that directed, wrote, starred in his own 007 ripoff type movies. One of the best is For Your Height Only. So there's so many great scenes in this. So there's one where he's running away from some bad guys. He runs into a hotel. There's a half-naked babe in the bed, and so he's these guys are closing in on him with guns, and he stops and kisses her on the cheek and kind of winks at her, and then jumps out of the hotel 12 stories up. So he's supposed to have an umbrella. He's coming down the side of the building, and it's very obvious it's one of those My Buddy dolls or some really crappy doll that's duct taped to an umbrella, and it's banging down the side of the building. Or there's no way there's a human being. It's the worst stunt shot I've ever seen, but I absolutely love it. The thing about Champion Video is it's not just a collection, it's actually interactive. So I have friends or people I've kind of gotten to know through Instagram or Facebook. If I kind of haven't met them before, get kind of a good judgment of whether I trust them to rent out tapes, that kind of thing. Eventually though, my dream is to make this a reality where anybody can come in and rent out tapes. So there's a process, just like in the old video stores. You've got your membership application down here, so people will fill that out. And once they fill that out, they can rent tapes. They get their membership cards here, and everything's going to be tracked by their name and phone number on the back. So you've got the Champion Video VHS there. So one day, I'd like to make this become a reality where anybody from the public can come in, rent VHS tapes. So there's definitely some pretty cool things in the works for the future. Okay, so one of my friends gave me one of the best gifts ever. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, anything with giant monsters, giant robots, kaiju, absolutely love it. So he actually gave me the complete set of every Godzilla film ever released, different versions, subtitled everything. And so I've got them all over here. These are all original Toho releases. So you've got like Mechagodzilla, Titanosaurus, Godzilla, all fighting on the cover here. So this is Terror of Mechagodzilla. Probably, I don't know, I can't pick a favorite Godzilla movie, but the fact that he gave me all these because he switched over to a different format with Blu-ray and DVD, I'm absolutely honored to have these in my collection. Gotta love Godzilla. Part of the fun, and actually the majority of the fun, besides watching these movies, is the thrill of the hunt. So I will go to a lot of flea markets. I'll go look for like other collectors and trade with them. I really try to look for things that are unique, things that people that were in the movies or made them would like to forget. The whole genre of like the comedy horror movies are great. You've got like Evil Dead, but to me the perfect example of that is Dead Alive. This was actually done by Peter Jackson, the guy that did Lord of the Rings. And if you're looking for something that'll make you laugh, that has a ton of blood and guts in it, this is probably one of the best examples.
Party's over.
But yeah, this one, man, this is just pure bloody, gory gold right there. A lot of the old video stores would have kind of the press for service buttons that teenagers wouldn't be behind the counter. They were usually slacking off or taking a smoke break, so I put one up at the front for authenticity. I love horror for so many reasons. One of my favorite genres is the heavy metal horror. And a perfect example of that would be Black Roses, which is here. So this kind of embodies a lot of what I look for and love about tapes. So you've got this cool like vacuum formed packaging. It's the heavy metal horror genre, has really good music. The premise is essentially a rock and roll band that turns into monsters and turns all of the fans and everything into monsters as well.
It's me against the world. Against the world. It's me against the world.
Man, I can't say enough good stuff about this movie. I absolutely love it. But one of my favorite movies, this has nostalgia because I watched it as a kid so many times, is The Brain. And you guys remember the old Madballs toys? This thing looks exactly like one of the Madballs. The idea behind it is it's a brain that a group of evil scientists play. One of the doctors from Reanimator is actually in there, and he also gets decapitated in this one too. But it's a brain that they grow, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and just starts going down like hallways and warehouses and eating people. You want to talk about like over-the-top, amazingly cool practical effects. The Brain is just so good. I love it. So the great thing about the big VHS boom is that anybody that had a video camera and an imagination and the time to make a movie could. And that was really a great thing because these video stores could not get enough content. They wanted anything and everything that you could throw at them. You have these amazing directors, you had practical effects that were, some were pretty terrible, but they have their own charm to them. And I'm pretty amazed by what some people could do at home with like a $15, $20 budget too. So, you've got a lot of actors that are in movies before they were, famous coming up and everything. A lot of these actors too, no one really knows where they are, and I think that they should be found. And I want to talk to them and say, hey, what was this like? Because there's just, all we have is this, hour and a half, 2 hour movie. But there's got to be so many stories behind certain scenes. So yeah, whoever is behind, if you ever directed or acted in an 80s horror movie, I'd love to talk to you.
Wow, this is amazing.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Oh, shit.
You know, please subscribe to the Wizard of Oz. You know.